welcome back to my channel Beauty of Language and Literature. Do not forget to like, subscribe and comment. Since we have finished the explanation of Act 2, Scene 5 to Scene 9, so the time has come for me to ask you a few quick questions. If you don't want to answer them, then you can skip straight to the explanation of Act 3, Scene 1. If you want to know the answers of the questions that I have been asking, then you can check in the description below. So, the first question is, what did Shylock ask Jessica to do before he leaves for dinner? Second question is, how does Shylock describe Lancelot when he talks to Jessica about him? The third question is, who were the ones who gathered in front of Shylock's house? Fourth question is, what inscription does Portia's gold casket bear? And the fifth question is, what did the silver casket contain when it was opened by the Prince of Aragon? Moving straight to the explanation of Act 3, Scene 1. Here, Salanio and Salarino discuss about the rumors that yet another of Antonio's ships have been wrecked. They are then joined by Shylock, who accuses them of having helped Jessica escape. The two Venetians proudly take the credit of their roles in Jessica's elopement. Shylock curses his daughter's rebellion. So to this, Salarino says that there is more difference between thy flesh and hers than between jet and ivory. Salarino then asks Shylock whether he can confirm that Antonio's ships have been wrecked. To this, Shylock responds that Antonio will soon be bankrupt and then he will collect his bond. Salarino then wonders that what will the old man do with the pound of flesh of Antonio? To this, Shylock coolly remarks that at least the flesh will feed his revenge. Here in this scene, in a short monologue, Shylock says that he has been mistreated by Antonio solely because he is a Jew. Shylock is determined to apply the lessons of hatred and revenge that the Christian intolerance has taught him by far. Salarino and Solanio head off to Antonio. Just then Tubal, a friend of Shylock and a Jew, enters and reports him that Jessica is nowhere to found. Shylock rants against his daughter and wishes her to be dead as he bemoans his losses. He is especially embittered when Tubal reports that Jessica has taken a ring, the ring that was given to him during his bachelor days by his late wife Leah, who is presumably Jessica's mother, and traded it for a monkey. Shylock's spirits brighten when he gets to know that Antonio's ships have run into trouble and that his creditors are certain that Antonio is ruined. Now the analysis time. Let's move on to the detailed analysis of Act 3, Scene 1. As Antonio's losses mount, Shylock's villainous plans become apparent. Let him look to his bond, he repeats single-mindedly. Despite having mounting obsession for Antonio's pound of flesh, however, Shylock maintains his dramatic dignity. In a scene with a pair of Venetians, Shylock delivers his celebrated speech in which he says, "Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affection and passions? If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die?" We are not meant to sympathize entirely with Shylock, even though he might have been wronged, but he lacks both mercy and sense of proportion. His refusal to take pity on Antonio in the later scenes is contrasted with the mercy that is shown to him by the Christians. But even as we recognize that Shylock's plans are terribly wrong, but we appreciate the angry logic of his speech. After that, Shylock's dignity lapses in the scene with his friend Tubal, who keeps his supposed friend in agony by alternating between good news and bad news. Shylock lurches from glee to despair and back. One moment he says, "I thank God, I thank God," and in another moment he says, "Thou stickest a dagger in me." But even here he rouses our sympathy when Tubal informs him that Jessica has stolen a ring that was given to him by his late wife. Shylock says, "It was my turquoise. I had it of Leah when I was bachelor. I would not have traded it for a wilderness of monkeys." Villain though he may be, but we feel sorrow that Jessica, which has now become a much less sympathetic character, had stolen the ring and sold it for a monkey which was given by her dead mother to her father. So this was it. The scene wraps up. Stay tuned to find out what happens next. This is me, Beauty Bharadwaj. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe.